Yo, what is up guys, it's the Goblin. I'm back here again today with another Black Ops 3 video. In today's video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking to you guys about the new patch update for Call of Duty Black Ops 3 that is now live. It came out today for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now basically this update is version number 1.11. It includes the support for contracts and the Blackjack specialist, which are going to be getting into the game tomorrow. Most likely it's going to be coming at around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow into the game. I'm going to be talking about all that sort of stuff in today's video. So if you guys are new to the channel, I'd really appreciate if you guys could drop a like on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel or all that sort of stuff. Subscribe if you're new. If you're new or if you're old, you can drop a like on this thing. And let's get right into it and talk about the patch notes here, the stuff that we need to cover, the balance changes, as well as the new stuff coming into the game with the contracts and the Blackjack, which is I think what most people are really excited for out of this patch, and what I'm really excited for as well out of this patch 1.11 obviously. Now let's get right into the Blackjack. So the Blackjack is the black market vendor basically, and it says the black market vendor sits on the sidelines no more. Blackjack is making his multiplayer debut. He's now available for mercenary work. So basically how you get the Blackjack is you have to do it through these contracts, which all of this is already going to be included in this patch, but it's not dropping until tomorrow morning. So basically they want everyone to pre-download the patch, and then tomorrow when you get on the game, you're going to have all this stuff available for you. So basically how do you get the Blackjack is by completing both weekly contracts, and you'll be rewarded with a mercenary contract that allows you to hire Blackjack for a limited amount of time, 60 minutes of game time. So basically you finish both the weekly contracts, which also give you crypto keys and maybe some other bonuses, but what we know right now is it gives you crypto keys, and then you get a separate contract towards getting the Blackjack, which obviously the weird thing about this is you only get him for 60 minutes of game time. I think that's kind of weak. I don't really, I guess we're gonna have to see, is he really that overpowered that you can only play with him for an hour, a week, or something like that? Who really knows? Basically earning, activating, and using Blackjack's mercenary contract is exclusive to public matches. Blackjack is not available in custom games or in arena. That's another thing you guys need to know, obviously, basically because they don't want this in competitive. They want Blackjack to stay to multiplayer only, and it's just a fun thing. Obviously if you're putting a DLC specialist, it's better to keep that out of competitive and keep it normal. So let's hear all about Blackjack's abilities and what his ability and his weapon are. So his first one that we have here is Rogue, and this is basically sort of the weapon for Blackjack. Playing as Rogue, Blackjack trades kills for power, and once powered up will be able to use the specialist weapons of his targets. The power meter functions differently than other specialist meters. Blackjack must get kills to fill the meter. On the kill that gains full power, Blackjack will gain access to the weapon of the specialist that he killed, and that will become the active weapon in the power meter. When Blackjack kills additional specialists with different weapons, an option to flip the coin to a new weapon will appear and will update with each new kill of a different specialist, meaning that Blackjack can hunt for weapons. For example, if Blackjack puts down Seraph to earn Rogue, he will receive the Annihilator. If Blackjack then puts down Spectre next, the Ripper appears on the coin, and so on. So basically this is just, you're basically just taking the specialist weapons from people that you're killing, and this is sort of what we all knew the Blackjack was going to be. The black market vendor is famous for stealing our money on Call of Duty points, and now I guess we could say he's also stealing people's weapons with his Rogue ability, or not ability. Well, I mean technically I guess he has two abilities here, but the Rogue is the weapon side of the ability. The next one is the Gambler, which this one I would consider his specialist ability. The Gambler, basically playing as Gambler, Blackjack overclocks his power systems to earn and activate a random ability from a specialist deck at an accelerated rate. Which ability comes next is in the hands of fate, so it's basically completely random. Blackjack is willing to gamble. If you want to take your chances, you can press left on the D-pad. Basically, you can press left on the D-pad and re-roll it to redraw another random ability. In the event that you don't activate his contract to get the 60 minutes with Blackjack, you can just do it later. The contract never disappears. You can stack time or whatever you want to do with that. There's also side bets. Once you've activated a mercenary contract, Blackjack will spice things up with a little side bet that challenges you to do your best with Rogue or Gambler. Complete the side bet challenge before the mercenary contract expires, and you will earn a calling card from Blackjack's hidden contraband. Basically just a little gimmick for the calling card. But the basic thing we have to notice right here is the Rogue and the Gambler. These are the most important things to do with the Blackjack specialist, and obviously this guy, we're going to be seeing him tomorrow, and I don't know how long it's going to take to complete these contracts, but hopefully we're going to be seeing gameplay and a bunch of stuff from this guy pretty soon. It's going to be really cool, I think. So daily and weekly contracts we're getting as well. Daily contract consists of a single challenge that you must complete before the next day. Complete the daily contract to get crypto key rewards. Daily contracts cycle every 24 hours at 10 a.m. Pacific time. A weekly contract cycles every 7 days, Monday to Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time as well. And it consists of 2 separate challenges. Complete both weekly contracts during the window of time to reap the rewards. Crypto keys is basically the main reward of all this contract system, as well as a special mercenary contract that can be activated to use a blackjack in the game. So this is all the stuff that we need to know about what we're going to be getting tomorrow out of this patch 6, or not 6.11, I don't know why I keep saying that, 1.11. Basically the blackjack and the contracts are what people are most excited for, as well as there are some normal patch notes which I'll talk about right now, and we'll get into that right here. But this is all you guys need to know about blackjack and contracts. We'll get more info out tomorrow, and obviously I'll be waking up at 10 a.m. to be, getting all the info out and making videos and all that sort of stuff on this new stuff we're having in Black Ops 3. So besides getting the contracts and the blackjack specialists, what else basically came out of this patch? Because this patch is absolutely huge, and a lot of the changes in this thing, I'm not going to read and cover all of them, because a lot of the changes here are just little glitches and bug fixes, and that's what the Call of Duty likes to do with their patches. They like to focus on stuff like that, and Call of Duty, a lot of these patches are heavily focused around competitive, changing little tiny sight lights for search and destroy, jump snipes, and stuff like that in competitive that really won't affect us multiplayer players nearly at all. We probably won't even notice these changes. So I'm going to skip through all that sort of stuff like that, and I'll give you guys the real sort of stuff that we need to know about this. We have some changes to game modes, specialists, and create a class, which really are the most important, I have to say. So changes to game modes are search and destroy and demolition. Cleaned up the gameplay and engagements around the bomb site and search and destroy and demolition via the following: close the center gap between the bomb crates, slightly lower the lid to help increase target recognition on players standing behind the lid. Note the players will still be safe, not visible when crouching behind the bomb site. Increase the emissive lights on the bomb site to make it more visible. So they basically changed the bomb site and changed how head glitching around the bomb site works a little bit in game modes that have bombs. Obviously search and destroy and demolition. In uplink, they further improvements to picking up a drop satellite drone. Just some changes there. Custom games, they have improved pathing for bots and custom games, and official hardcore variants for custom games. Small changes, those won't really affect most of us here. Now let's get into the juicy stuff right here. For specialists, as well as the create a class and perks and attachments, all that stuff what we have here. So specialists, we have one change. It is the Nomad. Nomad's rejack ability will now properly have a smoke effect when used while a power core score streak is in effect. So it's not really a huge buff or anything. It just changes it, how Nomad interacts with a power core. Really a slight little change. I'm not going to say it's a buff to Nomad, and rejack is still a really bad ability. I think the only thing it's really good for is search and destroy, because you can, if you die, you can get back up, and if you win that gunfight or your teammate saves you, it could be good in search and destroy. But in a respawn game mode, Nomad and the Hive can be a bit overpowered and annoying, but the rejack definitely is not the best. Now for create a class, we have a few changes. We have, in general, they fixed an exploit where players were able to equip the incorrect perk type into a perk slot and or could equip the heat wave specialist ability as a secondary weapon. Basically there was this glitch going around for the last few months where people could glitch it and make it look like they were holding the M27 from Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, and that was done through glitching the heat wave specialist as a secondary, some sort of dumb stuff. It didn't really matter, and I wasn't that interested in it because you couldn't actually play with the M27. Like, you couldn't shoot it, you couldn't get kills with it, so it was obviously just a glitch. I mean, it could be hinting at the M27 coming out into Black Ops 3 in the future, but that's all it was for now. The other changes we have here are the good stuff. We have one change to a weapon, and it's to the pistol Marshall 16, which is a supply drop weapon, a pay-to-win weapon, and a very, very overpowered one, especially when you use those things akimbo. They're absolutely deadly. And the Marshall 16 now has reduced range. I don't know how big of an effect this is. I haven't played on this patch yet, but I'm definitely going to give these things a go and see if it's definitely noticeable. I think that the Marshall 16 will still be pretty powerful because the range wasn't really what made them good. It was more about the damage and the high damage up close. How even if you had akimbo, you have those two pistols and it only takes one of them to kill in one shot. And now we have some changes to optics and grips and other attachments. So the changes to optics and grips were fixed an issue where optics and grips did not stack recoil reduction properly. Optics and grips can now be stacked properly for increased recoil reduction restriction, adjusted optic recoil reduction values to compensate for this fix. And then we have the ACOG, Varix, and Thermal reduced recoil reduction. So basically what this means is there was a thing going around with the Varix scope being super overpowered in Black Ops 3, and why that was is because you could run the Varix scope without grip and it would still make your gun have little to no recoil. Basically the Varix scope had so much power of reducing recoil that it also was glitched that it wouldn't stack with grip. So what they did is they nerfed it a little bit. So the Varix scope has a little bit more recoil now, but now you can also run grip at the same time and pair it together. So this is still going to be good, and the Varix scope is still going to be good, but I think this is a pretty, it's a decent nerf, because now if you want to run the Varix scope, you're probably going to have to use grip as well, which is going to take up an attachment slot, as well as your slot for the recon or for the sight, and that's going to be the change for that. Now we have one change to a perk, and that's to the perk Hardwired. EMP grenades that detonate within range of an enemy with Hardwired no longer produce a hit marker. Now I'm going to say this is a pretty decent buff to Hardwired, because now when people hit you with EMP grenades, they won't get a hit marker, they won't know where you're at. I mean, I guess that's just a change, right? It's probably not that big of a deal. They also have some changes to the maps. Now I think with Call of Duty is a lot of the time when they release these DLC maps, the DLC maps have a ton of glitch spots on them and bugs on them, and they're basically, there's a ton of patch notes of them fixing that sort of stuff. I'm not going to sit here all day and read that out to you guys. I'll leave a link down to the article which shows you guys all the patch notes for Charlie Intel down in the description below. You guys can check that out. If you guys made it to the end of this video, comment BO3 down in the comment section down below. And thank you guys for watching. I'd really appreciate if you guys could drop a like. If you guys watched till the end, I think it definitely deserves a like. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for Cookie and Don't Lookie, and I'm out. Peace.